Or I was thinking we could make the example like, I mean, someone is hitting your car every time they park, or and they're eventually, I mean, we could say someone is hitting your body or something, and they're just like disturbing your ability to be a better person in the world. And if you could get rid of that, you can think of it in terms of disease. I mean, it's maybe good in most cases to, if I can, uh, in a fairly non-obtrusive way, to get rid of the disease rather than go through life with a diseased body. It's maybe better to be healthy. And obviously not in all cases, and you don't want to dedicate your life to the health of the body. Of course, I'm not saying something like that,
Mhm. Mhm.
but yeah, what do you think about all that?
I mean, I think there's definitely a danger of misinterpreting. I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm saying a
Mm,
lot of people do this, and I think I did this a lot at the start as well. Um, but because you're talking about it theoretically, and I'm talking about it practically, and I'm trying to apply these things practically does run into the danger of passivity, of like, oh, everything just happens to me. Because that is what you do when you meditate. You are there and you are present for everything that is happening to you. And the Buddha taught meditation. The Buddha taught suffering and the freedom of suffering. The Buddha didn't teach you how to not get hit by a dude. The Buddha didn't, well, I guess the Shaolin people kind of teach you that, but that's a later thing. The Buddha didn't teach you how to park a car. Like that wasn't what he was interested in doing, you know. Um, my guess that where the two meet is something like if you want to find the right solution to the best possible outcome, the best thing you can do is start by or have already developed
mm,
an ability to drop yourself. And that's not to say ignore the feelings that are coming up in your system. You do pay attention to those,
mm,
but it's to stop, to learn how to stop being so myopic, being so focused on this feeling that you cannot hold this feeling and the truth of the neighbor with the dog, the truth of why the person is continuing to punch you. Um,
mm.
if we look at it from the point of view of like the first thing that comes to mind for me, if somebody's continuing to punch you, is like, oh, it's a bully. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Kind of a thing. Um, because that's kind of I mean if you're an adult and somebody's punching you you're either fighting or you're running away like you're not you're not really going to just sit there and be punched but I guess that's why that comes to mind but in that case like as a kid you can get caught up in like oh I have to defend myself I have to push back which can be good you might have to do that you can get caught up in the oh I can't this guy's gonna if I push back he's way stronger than me he's gonna beat me up for sure you can do that um but what you're looking for is if you can drop the self, the focus on the self, on your own inner experience, you can see more clearly what is happening. And then and it's not a question of like, oh, and then I think about, okay, so this person's doing this and I can plan and plot this way. It's just sort of like you see it and the action arises of its own accord from the scene. That's that interdependence that we're talking about. Um, Everything arising together, everything being part of the same causes and conditions. If you can see, if you can identify with that entire occurrence of everything that is happening, you can see that if you're aware, if you can take all of that as within what you're being aware of, then there is no question of what to do. It naturally arises. Can you achieve that state all the time? I don't know.
Mm.
It's not even a state. Can you uncomplicate your life well enough that you can just rest in that state? Probably. And I think a lot of people do. Can you maintain that all the time without being caught? No, I think that's why it's a practice. I mean, maybe if you're fully enlightened, maybe if you're the Buddha, for sure. I could, who knows, 2,500 years ago, who knows?
Mm,
For us humans nowadays, having that as a goal is kind of ridiculous. You're probably going to get caught up in stuff, probably be okay with that. You're going to have a better life if you're willing to accept the fact that it's going to happen. And in that moment, know
mm,
you have a practice you can fall back on, that you can rely on. But
mm,
it's a practice of letting go and letting be and letting arise, recognizing the suffering, recognizing none of these things are inherently separate from the other things. None of them is a concept in and of itself. Everything is always already impacted and affected by everything else that is going on right now, whether you know it or not.
yeah.
Inhabiting that space, which is the truth, that's the objective scientific truth of the situation. That
Mm,
includes your subjective experience, doesn't
mm,
exclude it because it's not important, brings
mm,
that in because it's important,
mm,
and the other person's subjective experience, and all of that is one cohesive whole. Then it's a lot easier to know what to do. It's a lot easier to take action in a wise and skillful way without having to plan it out or think it out or rehearse it or have the notes that you refer to. Okay, what was I supposed to do? Because that's a focusing on a thing. That's creating another thing that's going to beat this thing when none of them are things at all, really. And if you can inhabit the space where none of them are really things, everything's then you're already at a place where everything's a lot smoother.